What's going on, everybody? Will Murphy here with Iron Will Fitness. Tonight's video is going to be about yoga, and that you should have it in your fitness routine at some point, whether it be just once or twice a week or every other day, or even if you can get it in every single day, that would be awesome. I like to do my yoga in the morning. I don't really recommend hot yoga because there's a little bit of talk about the benefits of heating up the muscle in the hot yoga to stretch the muscles a little bit further, and really help and guide the muscles to be stretched and manipulated more because your body's so hot in that environment. However, it could cause issues with heat. You could end up with heat stroke if you're prone to that kind of thing. You definitely want to stay out of there. I personally feel really claustrophobic in any small room with four walls while I'm doing minimal activity like yoga, so it's just not for me. If it's something you want to try, then by all means go ahead and try it. But also keep in mind that if you're prone to heat stroke, you may not want to spend much time in hot yoga. As far as what kind of yoga I do recommend, I recommend like a good vinyasa flow, or maybe a yin yoga, something restorative to help with recovery after workouts and things like that. If you're a beginner, it can definitely help keep the soreness down and stuff like that. It can also help with any tightness in the muscles that you're experiencing. And if you're like more intermediate or advanced, it can really help as a bodybuilder be able to keep your mobility and range of motion. It can help with obese people because it can help with their mobility a little bit. So it can help them be able to get up and control their body a little bit more and things like that. Plus, if you're thinking about getting into a weightlifting routine, yoga is great because it teaches you to control your body. And if you can't control your body without weight, then how do you expect to control your body with extra weight attached to the outside of you? So it helps with injury prevention and things like that. It helps keep your muscles malleable. Some bodybuilders and things like that, after so long of not doing any kind of stretching or anything like that, they'll be walking around with their arms bunched up like this because their muscles are so tight that they can't straighten their arm all the way anymore. I have issues with like reaching over my head and things like that because my lats are tight. I have issues with front squats. It can mess with your front squats after so long of not stretching. So like you got to be able to get your elbows up. But if I get my elbows up, my hands are beside my ears, and they need to be more forward so that I can hold the bar right here on my clavicle. I mean, I bend my wrist back and I get through it, but if I did more yoga and more work through that area, I'd be able to do proper front squat a lot easier. So and it can help with the depth of your squat and things like that. It's going to help with a lot of your lifts in general, just because you'll be able to get a better stretch in the muscle. And working muscle works both ways. I mean, it works with a stretch and a contraction. There's still tension on the muscle even in a stretched position, so people that say, well, I don't want to lower the weight all the way down because that takes tension out of the muscle, are wrong. There's a stretch tension in the muscle once you're down all the way at the bottom of a rep, and you can get deeper into that and really be able to stretch the muscle more, which will help you contract more and help the muscle grow in the long run. So for that reason, yoga is awesome. And basically, as a beginner, it's just great to get into something that can help you be mindful, can help de-stress you and things like that, and can help you have a better progression through your fitness journey, just because it'll help you keep your mobility and things like that. With all that being said, that's my 2 cents on doing yoga. Definitely consider giving it a shot, especially if your gym has a free yoga class. You're not missing out on anything at all. Anyhow, check out my videos on YouTube. I'm working on the workout videos as we speak. For tomorrow, I'll be posting your workouts on Instagram, and those little numbers beside the beginner and the beginner, obese, beginner, and intermediate, those little numbers right there where it's like 507, 1055, and 1745, those are the timestamps. So if you're looking for a certain workout in the video, the timestamp is there in the description for you to be able to find your specific workout, whether you're beginner and you're overweight, obese, and you don't have the mobility of a normal I don't want to say normal, you don't have the ability of a more healthy adult. Beginner is for my healthy adults that can do pretty much anything. They just need to learn the basics of lifting weights. And intermediate is for the people that have been lifting for, you know, upwards of a year and have a really good grasp of exercises and things like that. That's where we're going to put our compound movements and things, because you know, as a person telling you to do things online, I don't want any repercussions from teaching beginners exercises that they couldn't handle when they get hurt or something. So I like to be careful like that. I also like to progress you slowly so that, you know, it minimizes the chances of you catching an injury at all. I don't want to progress you too slowly, but I do want to work our way up to things, you know, before, you know, and make sure we're ready before we just get into it and wind up doing something that we regret as far as causing ourselves an injury. Make sure you get on YouTube and check these out so that you'll have a better idea how to do each exercise. It's Iron Will Fitness on YouTube. It's Iron Will Fitness Training on Facebook. It's ironwillfitnesstraining.com. And of course, right here on Instagram, it's Iron Will PT. Give me a holler, and I will see you tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to get these workouts done so I can have them posted for tomorrow, so you'll be ready to get it knocked out. Peace.
Today's first exercise for the beginner overweight obese program is going to be the leg extension. Remember to make sure that you set this machine up properly, and so that your knees are directly across from the pivot point and the ankle pad is on your ankles right above your feet, but not on top of the middle of your shins. Once you're in the seat and your legs are behind the ankle pad, you'll straighten your legs, lifting the ankle pad up to the top. Squeeze your quads for just a second and then return to the bottom slowly with control. You got 2 sets of 10 reps. Exercise 2 is going to be the seated leg curl. Remember to set this machine up properly. Your knees should be directly across from the pivot point, and your ankles should be on the ankle pad right above your feet and right below your calves. Once you're in the seat and you've got your feet on the ankle pad, lower the ankle pad by bending your legs and squeezing your hamstrings until you're all the way at the bottom of the movement. Squeeze your hamstrings for just a second and then return slowly with control to the top of the movement. Repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 2 sets of 10 reps. Today's third exercise will be the machine chest press. Remember to set this machine so that your feet are flat on the floor and you can push through your feet to help drive the movement. Select the weight you'd like to use and then place your hands on the handles with your elbows directly behind your wrists and your shoulder blades back and pinch together. From there, you're going to press out and all the way to the front and squeeze your pecs at the front of the movement, and then return slowly with control back to the beginning of the movement. Repeat these steps for reps. You got 2 sets of 10 reps. Our final exercise will be the machine seated row. For this exercise, select the weight that you like to use. Sit down in the seat, put your feet on the feet pads, grab hold of the handles, make sure that your back is upright and straight. Stretch at the shoulders, and then begin the movement by retracting the shoulder blades and moving the elbows back behind your body as far as you can, and then returning back to the front and releasing your shoulder blades, and then repeat for reps. You got 2 sets of 10 reps of this exercise. Don't forget that your workout is not complete until you walk for 10 minutes. You can walk outside, or you can walk on the treadmill, or if your gym has a track, you can walk around the track. If you don't feel like walking, you're more than welcome to do some kind of water aerobics or something like that will be easy on your joints. You could also ride on a stationary bike. Have a great workout, and we'll see you tomorrow. Our first exercise for the beginners tonight will be the chest supported row. Look for a machine in your gym like this one right here. What you'll do is you'll load the weight on, and then you'll lay on top of the machine and lift the bar out of the rack. Lower it down all the way until your back is stretched. And then begin the movement by retracting your shoulder blades and bringing your elbows as far behind you as you can, trying to squeeze them as if you're going to touch them together at the back. Once you squeeze for just a second, return the weight to the bottom slowly with control, and repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Today's second exercise will be the Dumbbell Incline Bench Press. For this movement, you'll sit down on an incline bench with a weight in each hand. The weight should be over your head at the top of the movement. You're going to lower them down, making sure that your elbows stay below your shoulders at about a 45 to 60 degree angle. You're going to lower it all the way down until the weights are beside your chest. Then you're going to lift all the way back to the top and squeeze your chest. Once you've reached the top, trying to bring your biceps as close together as you can with the weights in your hands. Repeat these steps for reps, and you've got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps of this exercise. Our third exercise will be the cable underhand pulldown. For this movement, you'll set up the cable machine the way you would for a wide grip lat pulldown, and you'll set the hip pad so that you can get your hips up to the pad. Go ahead and grab the bar evenly with an underhand grip and sit down in the seat with your hips against the pad. From there, you're going to pull the bar down, leading with your elbows, pulling down and back as far as you can until your hands reach your clavicle, or the bar reaches your clavicle, and then return to the top for reps after a short squeeze. Repeat these steps for reps. You've got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Exercise 4 is going to be the Arnold Press. To do this movement, you'll start at the top of a curl with your elbows out in front of you as high as you can get them. Anywhere between the bottom of the chest and about shoulder level is fine. From there, you're going to rotate your arms outward so that your elbows are almost at your sides. They should be just a little bit in front of you as you start to press up. Once your elbows are out to your sides, press straight up over your head until your arms are all the way extended. Return back to the bottom by lowering the weights. And once your elbows are about shoulder height, you're going to turn the weights in until they're directly in front of you at the top of the curl position that you started at. Repeat these steps for reps, and you've got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps of this exercise. Exercise number 5 is going to be the Cable Triceps Pushdown with a rope attachment. For this movement, you'll want to raise the pulley all the way to the top. Select the weight that you'd like to use. Grab the rope and pull your elbows down to your sides. This is your starting position. Begin the movement by squeezing your triceps and straightening your arms all the way down to the bottom of the movement, spreading the rope as far as you can once you're at the bottom of the movement, and squeezing for just a second. From there, you'll return to the top of the movement slowly with control and let your triceps stretch at the top, and then repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. Exercise number 6 will be the cable biceps curl. To do this movement, you'll lower the pulley all the way to the bottom of the tower. From there, you'll attach either a straight bar or an easy bar. And I want you to grab the grips all the way as far as you can to the outside of the bar. So you're wanting a wider grip for this exercise. And from there, you're going to have your arms straight with your elbows just in front of your hips. You're going to keep them in this position as you tighten your biceps and lift the weight up to the top of the movement. Once you're at the top of the movement, squeeze your biceps for just a second and then lower the weight with control back down to the bottom until your arms are completely straight. Repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. For today's ab movement, we've got the bicycle crunch. For this movement, you're going to lay flat on your back with your feet just off the ground. You're going to raise one knee and bring your opposite elbow to that knee. You can have your fingertips behind your ears. I feel more activation when I'm doing it with my hands up as if I'm in a fighting position. Once you've brought your opposite knee to your opposite elbow, the opposite leg, the one that's not up, should be straight and almost just above the floor really is where it should be. So it needs to be straight and just above the floor at the very bottom of the movement. As you lower the leg that it was up with the elbow near it, you're going to raise the opposite knee and elbow, and then you're going to repeat this in a cyclical motion like riding a bicycle for reps. For this exercise, we're going to be doing 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps per side. So you can either count to 30 or you can pick a side and count 1, 2, 3. Either way works, but make sure that you get in 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Don't forget to stop by the cardio area of the gym or go run outside or something like that. After your workout, you got at least 10 minutes of cardio. You can do a little more if you want to, but try to stick close to around 10-ish minutes with your heart rate between 110 and 130. I hope you had a great workout, and I hope you have a great day. For the intermediates, our first movement will be the Barbell Overhead Press. You load up a barbell with the weight that you'd like to use, and then you're going to stand with your feet about hip to shoulder width apart, with the weight resting on your collarbone, or on your clavicle, on the top of your chest, however you want to look at it. It needs to be below your chin and setting on top of your chest. From there, you're going to press the weight straight up over your head until it's all the way at the top and your arms are fully extended. Squeeze your shoulders for just a second and then lower with control back to the top of your chest. Repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. Exercise number 2 is going to be the dumbbell side lateral raise. For this movement, you'll select 2 dumbbells. I don't really recommend a super heavy weight because you need to take your time with this movement and really feel the muscle and make sure that your traps don't come into the exercise. You'll stand with the weights directly at your sides. Do not cross them in front of you to get momentum to get them to the top. Just hold them right at your sides and then lift directly out to either side. Think of it as if you're spreading the weight apart instead of lifting it up. Once you're at the top, squeeze your shoulders for just a second and then lower the weight back down with control to your sides. Repeat these steps for reps. And you got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. The third exercise will be the easy bar front raise. For this movement, you're going to get a lighter weight easy bar, somewhere between probably 20 and 40. You don't want an extra heavy one because you really want to focus on using just your shoulders, and if you're using extra heavy weight, the nearby stronger muscle groups will try to come in and help you. Another caveat to this exercise is you want to make sure that your shoulder blades are not retracted so that you aren't bringing in too much chest into the movement. Once you're standing there with the weight in front of you at your waist, you're going to raise your arms using just your shoulders, so your arms should remain straight and the only joint movement should be your shoulder joint. Raise the weight up to shoulder level, hold and squeeze for just a second, and then lower back down with control to your hips. Repeat these steps for reps, and you've got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. Our 4th shoulder exercise today is going to be the machine Rear Delt Flye. For this movement, you'll need a chest butterfly machine that does the Rear Delt Flye also. Set the machine so that the arms of the machine are in the position where the handles are close together, and you'll have to turn around backwards on the machine. Set with your chest up against the chest pad. Reach out and grab the handles on top and begin the movement by spreading your hands apart. Remember to pretend that you're spreading, not that you're moving the weight back, but that you're spreading the weight apart. And you'll want to make sure that you don't retract your shoulder blades and that you stop where your elbows are directly across from your shoulders so that you don't involve your back. Start this movement with your hands out in front of you. Spread the weight apart until your elbows are directly across from your shoulders. Squeeze for just a second and return back with control. Repeat these steps for reps. You've got 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for this exercise. For our 5th exercise, we're getting started with abs with the captain's chair knee raise. Make sure that when you do this movement, you don't use a lot of excess momentum and you don't use the elasticity of your abs to lift your knees up, meaning don't drop your knees really fast and then use that to make them come back up really fast. You're not getting any work done if you're adding momentum to the exercise, You want to stop at the bottom for just a second and then raise your knees all the way up into your chest, making sure that your tailbone comes off of the back pad. Squeeze for just a second at the top. Try to hold that tailbone up for just a second and then lower back down with control and letting your tailbone rest against the back pad and then reaching your knees all the way down and then raising your legs again and repeating these steps for reps. You got 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps for this exercise. Today's second ab exercise is going to be the exercise ball crossover crunch. You'll get an exercise ball and you'll lay over the top of it, stretching your back as much as possible so that your abs are as far stretched as they can be. Tuck your chin in your chest and then raise up, lifting your shoulder blades off of the ball and turning one elbow to the opposite knee. Lay back onto the ball and stretch your back over the ball as much as you can to stretch your abs. Raise up and turn the opposite direction to bring the elbow to the other opposite knee. I don't really know how to say that. From there, you'll lower back down and stretch your back across the ball, stretching your abs as much as possible, and then repeat these steps for reps. We're going to do 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps per side for this exercise. For calves today, we'll be doing the seated calf raise to work the soleus, put a little bit of emphasis on the soleus. No matter what kind of calf raise you do, you'll be working the soleus and gastrocnemius, but with your knees bent, you can put a little bit more emphasis on the soleus because the soleus crosses the knee joint, so that will put a little stretch on the soleus and make it easier to contract that muscle when in the seated position. To begin this movement, set your knee pad to where you can set it on top of your knees and lift off of the platform. Lower your ankles below the platform. Let your calves stretch for just a second, and then return to the top of the movement, squeezing your calves as hard as you can. Repeat these steps for reps. You'll have 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps for this exercise. Don't forget to churn up them calories with a little bit of cardio at the end of your session. You've got 10 minutes. You'll want to get your heart rate between 110 and 130 at the very least. For fat burning, anything above 130 puts you in the cardiovascular zone, so you'll be working on more cardiovascular endurance at that point. Any way you want to do it, go ahead and get it done. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.